With expectations that some kind of an agreement might be struck, following what seemed to be a compassionate statement from Antony Blinken over the death of Palestinian children, the meeting between the US Secretary of State and Arab Foreign Minister produced absolutely nothing new. Arabs demanded an immediate and comprehensive ceasefire. Blinken, on the other hand, continued holding Hamas ultimately responsible for the escalation and confirming Israel's right to self-defense.
The purpose of the meetings is to create a group for a temporary humanitarian ceasefire and to allow food into Gaza. It's clear, though, that there is no discussion for a comprehensive ceasefire or a real foundation to resolve this crisis.
The United States was seeking to establish a 12-hour humanitarian ceasefire, during which a hostage exchange would take place ahead of an Arab summit to be held in a few days. But on the ground, no one has a voice except the resistance and the Israeli occupation. Resistance is willing to accept that ceasefire, but the occupation rejected it.
The participants in the Amman talks included the foreign ministers of Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Qatar. They all remain concerned about the possibility of a regional expansion of the conflict.
Other countries fear that if Israel succeeds in Gaza, it could pave the way for Israel and the USA to wage war on them. So they consider themselves part of this crisis, not to only support Palestinians, but also fearing that they may face the same fate.
This is the second Middle East tour for Blinken since violence erupted between Israel and Hamas on October 7th. After Jordan, the U.S. Secretary of State will continue on to Turkey.
From Tel Aviv in Israel to Amman in Jordan, the U.S. Secretary of State went to meet Arab foreign ministers without an agreement on any form of a ceasefire. The Arab League says that Palestinians there are now facing serious threats of famine and extermination. Meanwhile, the war in Gaza doesn't appear to be easing up anytime soon. Adel El Mahrouky, CGTN, Cairo.